all I know. Oh, you're all I need. But it's complicated. I'm my own safe haven, and it's more the way you believe. And I'm stuck in between what I know and what I feel. Why are we so unsteady, baby? Tell me. And you see right through me, but you still know what I need. Why are we so unsteady? Tell me. Like a single flame, baby, light the way. We don't need to think about who to blame. It's just so complicated. Promises keep breaking, and I hate that you are all I need. And I'm stuck in between what I know and what I feel. Why are we so unsteady, baby? Tell me. And you see right through me, but you still know what I need. Why are we so unsteady? Tell me. Why are we so unsteady? Tell me.
You know, I'd really like to become a dubstep producer, but I don't know where to begin. Here's an article with steps. Step 1. Pirate FL Studio. The cracked version has a way warmer sound than the bought version. Step 2. Render the project with a bit rate of 32 kilobits per second. This is to make it compatible with phones. Step 3. Make your serum wavetables in MS Paint. Final step, add 2 instances of sausage fattener and 3 instances of OTT to your mastering chain. All right, let's see what kind of dubstep we can make. Google, how do I make dubstep? Let's see. Next. That's it did what? Next. Here's an article with steps. Step 1. Pirate FL Studio. The cracked version has a way warmer sound than the bought version. Step 2. Render the project with a bit rate of 32 kilobits per second. This is to make it compatible with phones. Step 3. Make your serum wavetables in MS Paint. Final step, add 2 instances of sausage fattener and 3 instances of OTT to your mastering chain.
for the first time. And maybe I was looking for a lifeline, someone to hold on to, something I thought was true. So tell the truth. But I can't let you go. And maybe you found someone. I'm better off alone. Something better came along. But I can't let you go. But I can't let you go. But I can't let you go. And maybe you found someone. I'm better off alone. Something better came along. Maybe I was wrong for the first time. And maybe this was all just in my mind. We'll rise and fall and start again. God knows when we'll reach the end. And every single thing might fall apart. But I can't let you go. And maybe you found someone. I'm better off alone. Something better came along. But I can't let you go. But I can't let you go. But I can't let you go. But maybe you found someone. I'm better off alone. Something better came along. But I can't let you go.
counting stacks.
I cannot believe what I heard when you did. I thought it was her, but I saw that your way. Time's on your side, and I hope that regret. Still, I see her, and I know that forget.
And light it up.
I be counting stacks.
Your latest win deserves to be seen by everyone. Instantly. Like, seriously, that was cool. But how does it work that your friends, playing with you around the world, see everything at exactly the same time as you? Well, that's your win there, flying off to ping around the world now. Magnificent, isn't it? It has to journey down miles and miles of fibre and get sorted at cabinet exchanges along the way. At the same time as your data, there's millions of other games, movies and more all going through the same cables. Then we get to the data centre, where the whole internet lives and breathes. In here, your game is being played out on the server in racks like this one. Now let's share your success all around the world. There we go. Your win is a global phenomenon now. And that's how it all works. Data centres in real life.
Hello everybody and welcome back to Insomnia 65, and we're jumping into Insomnia Presents, our Overwatch show match. We have 4 magnificent teams that are going to be stepping on into the stage today, and it's all on the line because we have the Royal Army, we have the Air Force as well, and now we're also going to have our Belong Arena Clash champions here, our all-stars from the Arena Clash, stepping in to play some Overwatch in a bit of a mini round robin. It's all for fun here. We have our armed forces that are going to be going toe-to-toe here and deciding which armed force is the best at Overwatch. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But without further ado, let's bring some players up onto the stage. So first off, I'd like to introduce Her Majesty's Army. How's it going, mate? So welcome to the stage. First off, do you want to introduce yourself for the audience here?
I'm Josh, Part 4 Engineer Regiment.
Awesome. So first off, how are you feeling being on a stage? I imagine this is a little bit different to your day job.
A little bit, but we're used to getting up in front of people and through training and everything else, so it's not too much different. And you can't see anybody anyway.
Yeah, the lights are a little bit blinding. So, I mean, you guys clearly coming on confident here. How much Overwatch do you guys play? How similar is this to your normal combat that you're used to?
It's nothing like it. In real life, if you get shot, you're not going to get back up and play again. And we don't really play much Overwatch. We got told about a month or so ago we were going to play this for this. So we've been trying.
All right, so obviously a little bit different, no shields in real life, but coming into this one, you're up against the Air Force. There's got to be a little bit of friendly rivalry going on there.
Oh yeah, hopefully we'll beat them, but we'll see.
All right, well, good luck. I'll let you guys take your seats, and good luck. And let's have a round of applause for our Army squad here. All right, well, and stepping up onto the other side of the stage, their counterparts, it's going to be our Royal Air Force. All right, so Air Force stepping onto the stage. Now, do you want to introduce yourself and what you do at the Air Force for our audience here?
So I'm Five Eyes. I am an ICT technician and work with in cybersecurity.
Wow, that sounds super complicated. But also working with computers, do you feel like you guys are coming in with an edge here? I've seen some of you guys bringing your own mice and things.
Yeah, I think we've sold our hand a little bit, so we probably shouldn't have done so. But yeah, I guess working with computers, it's kind of a hobby and a kind of career. So hopefully it'll lend to itself. So yeah, we'll see.
So you guys here, have you got some Overwatch pedigree on the team? Do you guys play the game? Are you coming in very prepared for this one?
We've individually played quite a bit, well, for a mixed bag, really. Together, we've only really played sort of 3-4 weeks, so we're still kind of getting used to individual heroes and working as a team, but we'll see how it goes.
All right, well, final question then. You're up against the Army. It's got to be a bit of a back and forth here. How confident are you guys coming in that you can take them on?
I think we're quietly confident, but we'll see.
All right, well, good luck with your games anyway. I'll let you guys take your seats, and let's have a hand for our Royal Air Force here. All right, and last but certainly not least, these guys are the aspiring pros for Overwatch itself. We're going to have our Arena Clash All-Stars. So please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together as we welcome them to the stage. All right, so we've actually got 2 squads here that are going to be kind of mixing and matching. I believe, do you want to come over here, my friend? So do you want to introduce yourself to our audience and kind of where you guys are all coming from here?
I'm Pajak, and I'm on Portsmouth Pirates, and we're all Blong players, all from different areas of the world, of the country. And basically, we meet up all the time. We've created a whole community of everyone from London, from Portsmouth, from bloody North, everywhere. So this is what we do.
All right, well, I'm excited to see how you guys are going to do, because obviously you've kind of mixed and matched a little bit. Are you doing all right for roles? Because obviously you've got a lot of players here. Are you going to be able to slot in correctly?
There are a few on-off roles, but everyone seems to be in their rightful place, so hopefully we can keep our momentum, keep it on going.
All right, well, good luck in your games. And final question, how confident are you guys? Obviously, you guys play a lot of this game. You're already competing. You've got to be coming in strong here.
Yeah, well, very, 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 very confident. I think we've got it. 100%.
All right, well, I'll let you guys take your seats. Let's have a big hand for our Belong All-Stars here, who will be taking on our armed forces. But with that said, it's about time that we kick our games off, so I'm going to kick it over to our wonderful casters to get on in some Overwatch action.
Thank you, Munchables. My name is Stanley Greyheart Barker. I am joined by Phil, Big Hungry Phil Moxley.
Thank you, very good to be here. Now, just before we get started, I'm right in thinking you're not normally an Overwatch caster, is that right?
What's an Overwatch?
Yeah, exactly. So Stan very kindly stepping in there. Normally a League of Legends caster. So this is going to be kind of an educational stream, because I've got to give him enough information to be getting on with. So if you are looking at this thinking, oh boy, I don't know anything about Overwatch, don't worry, you're not alone.
This is the stream for you.
This is a big thing for me to lift. No offense, but it should be good fun. So we were having a quick chat backstage with some of the Army guys, some of the RAF guys, and we're asking them how they feel coming up against our Arena Clash All-Stars. And we've got to be honest, going up against the Arena Clash All-Stars, they may be not that confident.
Slightly out of their depth, possibly.
Yeah.
But they're definitely looking forward to facing off against each other.
Yeah, so that's where the real competition is going to be here. But I think coming up against the Arena Clash All-Stars, we are going to see some... I'm going to use the word interesting, and please understand that that is very much a euphemism for weird and stuff that shouldn't work coming out from our Arena Clash All-Stars, because we have some of the best players in the UK. We've highlighted him on stream before. Brute made it to the top 12 for the UK Overwatch World Cup team. So even when this guy's playing off-role, I wouldn't want to go against him. We were talking about, they've got Padchak, they've got Feezdog, they've got Kotanks, they've got Brute. I wouldn't want to go up as a full team of 6 against 4 of those guys. So the fact that the Army are going up against those 4 and whoever else is sitting in for them is really quite brave.
It's certainly a challenge, but at the end of the day, this is definitely going to be less challenging than being on the literal battlefield. Stepping onto the digital battlefield for a day, this is going to be a walk in the park in comparison.
Yeah, as our representative from the Army said, yeah, if you shoot people in real life, they tend not to get up again. Luckily, there is a respawn mechanic in Overwatch, so no such risk here today. I believe we are just getting our player set up. I think we're going to be starting on Blizzard World today. So Blizzard World is what we'd call a hybrid map. So you have 2 phases. You have both teams take turns attacking and defending, and the first attack phase is to try and gain control of a square of ground controlled by the defending phase. Once that's unlocked, we unlock a payload. You then have to complete moving the payload by keeping your team on it and the enemy team off it and get that all the way to the end. And we look and see who can do that in the quickest time, and eventually we have one team win out. And we're going to be starting on Blizzard World. In fact, here we go. As I say it, coming in on screen, starting on Blizzard World, the beautiful pylon terrace. For those of you that are Blizzard fans, you may spot various references around the map to other Blizzard franchises.
So I'm going to pretend to sound like I know what I'm talking about and say that one of the things that we're going to spot here that we're not going to get in our Belong Arena Clash finals is the enforced 2-2-2.
Correct, yeah, absolutely. Recent changes to how Overwatch works means that we try and limit this to, well, in fact, we actually do limit this to 2 DPS characters, 2 tank characters, and 2 support characters. For those of you not used to it, they are, in fact, ordered DPS on the left-hand side, tanks in the middle, supports on the right-hand side. So we're going to be starting off, and this is a really classic ladder defense, starting off with a Bastion, so that's a high rate of fire, lots of damage behind a replenishing shield coming in from that Orisa, and then Spamper's going to be playing the Reaper, which is high burst damage, lots of pellets, lots of damage to punish anyone that gets in too close. But we are going to be starting here with, I believe, the Army on attack.
Army going in, looking to get a decent bit of damage down, already picking up a kill.
Yeah, in fact, that's the D-Mech with the suit down already, has got the kill now onto the Pilot Diva. So this is a 5v6 in favour of the British Army. Spamper's down as well. Gonti on the main doing a lot of work, so we have got the Baptiste lamp there as well. Quick turn there from Doida to get rid of that lamp, and that is going to be the British Army really just steamrolling onto the Royal Air Force there.
Going straight in. Actually, before the match, it seemed like the Air Force were the most confident, but already the Army coming out in a big way. In terms of the champions we're seeing, is there anything slightly sort of surprising with these picks, or is this quite meta?
No, this is very meta. In fact, what is being run by the Royal Air Force here with the May and the Reaper, that's incredibly common on the ladder. You get your May in range to slow the targets, you get the Reaper there to capitalize on that slow, you get the kills. And look, Nashi at 70% and climbing, getting these kills. And this is great, actually, from the RAF, getting in and steaming the Army off the point. They don't want to give up here. They want this aggression. Look where Nashi is playing. Only 78 health, but ready there to get in and get some lifesteal and just slow this offense coming back in from the British Army.
Five Eyes looking to get himself into the best position possible, has got the ultimate available to him.
Yeah, and that's going to be really good, either for popping in the damage or helping keep people alive through that. We see that Moira Coalescence used for both of those. Currently, nothing online in terms of ultimates for the British Army. They lost that fight so quick, they haven't had a chance to generate an ultimate, and Nashi is able to find Cronenberg. Cronenberg down already. A huge amount of healing and support utility lost for the British Army, as we see Nashi uncontested on the high ground, able to get rid of targets left and right. He has found the soldier with the headshot, taking Rusty down. Also, this is going to be the Royal Air Force leading the way as they start to roll this into point 2. There's the D-Mech onto the Diva. They've not had to use any ultimates. They've got such a war chest. 6 ults online, ready to go. Nothing seems to be able to stop the RAF right now.
So far, they definitely have got all of the aggression going forward. It feels like Rusty and they've spent more time dead than alive, and there goes another 2 kills.
I mean, that was really just sort of styling. You didn't need that ultimate in there, Nashi. You were just sick of having it on board. It was so heavy, you had to get rid of it and use it. And they still have the Blizzard ready to go. So good for space control. British Army, on the other hand, nothing for ults to show just yet. They've almost got Popping Precious Coalescence. It's going to be really hard to win a team fight with that.
Yeah, and unfortunately, we're going to see Cronenberg just absolutely dropped instantly.
Yeah, in fact, we saw the self-destruct get Cronenberg and get the D-Mech. That's Rusty and Gingerpunk down. Gonzio now on the high ground, uncontested once more, raiding the right clicks in, able to completely shut that down. British Army need to change something here, otherwise this is going to be a really, really quick cap time for Royal Air Force.
The Royal Air Force looking so solid in this first map of the day.
Yeah, and Sharkman able to just play right up against Spawn, getting a kill against the Reaper, which is honestly not a contest that you normally see go their way. Rusty coming in big with his tactical visor, coming in through. The Baptiste ultimate gets 2, but it's not enough with a 21-player kill streak before they finally died. Nashi helps carry that team through. So 3 points for the Royal Air Force. Let's see how the British Army do on offense.
Yeah, the British Army there doing a really solid job at the end, picking up some kills. Unfortunately, it was too little, it was too late, and it is the Air Force who strike first.
Yeah, I mean, that was really dominant. It seemed like they did not want to give the Army even a second to regroup. We saw Nashi playing right up against the Spawn, and, you know, it's actually kind of smart, just waiting there for one of the supports to come through, knowing that you are going to win that duel as the Reaper because you've got the lifesteal, because you've got that high burst potential on the damage. You can afford to do cocky things like that. So
we're seeing a reverse of the map now?
Yep, absolutely correct. So we're going to be seeing the Royal Air Force looking to set up the defense here, and it seems like when the British Army were running their defense, they had that Bastion in position, and they just weren't able to reposition quickly enough to actually make use of it. Whether or not we see something similar from the RAF on their defense remains to be seen. It looks like we're going for something a little less damage heavy. We're going for the Rhine Zarya here for the Royal Air Force. The British Army opting once more to run the Bastion, but running the Bastion on attack is a weird one, honestly.
Yeah, obviously with the defence, you're going to be there, you're going to position that turret, and you're going to be able to just stay in the same place, continually mowing people down. Last time we saw the Air Force come out, all guns blazing. Do you think we're going to see the same out of the British Army now?
Well, they're going to have to really, really push this, because that was such a convincing attack from the Royal Air Force that, you know, with the performance we've seen from the British Army, I don't quite know how they're going to replicate that. So we need to see Spampus on the flank here getting a key pick, really, for this to work out. Royal Air Force, though, they've got a lot of mobility, they've got a lot of angle control with the mobility from the Genji and the setup from the turret, from the Torbjorn, so it's going to be very hard for the British Army to move this composition forward.
And from a numbers perspective, what do the Army have to do in this round to keep themselves in with a chance against the Air Force?
Well, really, they've got to equal. They've got to get somewhere close to 4 minutes 53 as a time bank. We are seeing Ginger Spunk coming in with the initiation. Does find a pile driver, but gets slept. Gets anti-naded, gets deleted. Gonzio coming out of that with 16% of their ultimate. It was a nice try from Ginger Spunk. There wasn't a lot of follow-up from the rest of the team. Rusty falling down in the backline. Sadly, not quick enough there from Cronenberg with the lamp to keep the team alive. That's the immortality field. Stops that final 20% of damage coming through and killing the player. But that is going to be Royal Air Force holding on for that first defense. Nashi coming in. He wants the hammer kill. He's looking for it. Will he find the hammer kill? Cronenberg goes down to Nashi's hammer. That's style points right there, everybody.
Just like the last game, the Royal Air Force getting all the early kills, the British Army unable to dent that defense so far.
So here's the thing, the British Army, if they play this low and slow, they can capture these points. Getting something like any of these sort of DPS ults in the right position really can open this right up. There aren't really any supportive ults to get in the way, and Spamkas goes down to a charge from the Reinhardt. That's unfortunate. Welshi, great positioning there. Ginger Spunk looking to come back in again, but at the minute those bullets just finding either targets that can't take damage or a shield, so being very slow to generate that ult. That's a nice start though. The lamp is now down. Immortality field offline for Sharkman. That's going to be another 20 seconds before that's available to
We see Ginger Spunk there with the Hammond stepping in and out of the hamster pool, trying to get the best positioning possible, but Royal Air Force just dominating the map again.
Yeah, we'll hear Cronenberg with the Amp Matrix, an additional 100% effective damage and or healing if it comes through that, but there's no shielding there for anyone to take advantage for it. So that was a huge mistime. Rusty not able to take advantage, and of course Royal Air Force just casually stepped to the side, and Sharkman able to find Spampus already. Spampus sadly only at 34% of this ultimate, and that's what they need to crack this open. They need to wait for that lamp to go down, pop in the Death Blossom, but so far, difficult.
On the other side of the map, we've already got 5 ultimates ready, and we've almost got that 6-1 ready as well for the full charge from the Air Force.
Yeah, well, initiation from Ginger Spunk, and honestly, it looked like that power driver just smacked the mech into pieces. We are going to see Gonzo coming in, getting one, gets the dash reset. Slippery Japanese mechanical fish getting in and out, piling in the damage. RAF once more holding on to the points.
And that's how you use those ultimates. That wasn't just styling out, that was going in and absolutely decimating the opposition.
Well, so here's the thing. They won that team fight with one ultimate. They run it with Gonzio's Dragon Blade. Oh, we are going to see Rusty coming out now with the configuration tank form. Started a little bit early, so a lot of travel time there. Wasted maybe a good second of damage. Not able to find anything with that, unfortunately. Did a lot of damage out of it, going back into configuration turrets. And we've got Nashi has spread their molten core on the field, so it's actually going to be very hard for the British Army to get in on the back of that.
You questioned the Bastion pick earlier on. Are you sort of feeling justified in that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just we need something a little more mobile coming out from the British Army. They've got to get in on top of this. They can't afford to sit back and hope that Rusty can find value. They've really got to take the fight to the Royal Air Force if they want to win.
Yeah, so do they have the opportunity to switch champions through the map?
Yeah, they do. They can swap whenever, but it looks like so far people are looking to hold on to this. So we have now seen the minefield coming out from the Wrecking Ball. Ginger Spunk looks like they may not have found too much value out of that. Doided coming in, has the Graviton Surge ready to go, piles it in, half energy, starts to pile in the damage, finds the beam, another hammer kill for Nashi. Gonzo with one with the dash reset. RAF still holding strong, 22 seconds left to go for the British Army. One ultimate online. It's going to be a big ask.
And a 10-kill streak coming up as well. I'm not sure there's even been a single death for the Royal Air Force on defense.
No, so we have finally got a little bit of point presence. Spam Percy's able to get a round and get into position, but luckily, unfortunately, with the immortality field down, no focus on getting that. Wasn't able to do anything. Has bought a little bit of space. No one there to capitalize on it. Royal Air Force take that 3-0. RAF leading the way.
So what do we look at now then, Phil? We're 6-0 as it stands to the Air Force. Is there a way back in, or is it donezo?
Well, it's 3. I believe we're doing best of one map. I'm sure my producer will let me know if I'm wrong about that. But that was, if we are doing that one map series, that was kind of one and done. And honestly, on the back of that performance from the RAF, I'd be very surprised to see a second map go the other way. So we are going to have a swap over now.
Yeah, it's All-Star time.
Yeah, well, it's All-Stars coming to the stage. So if you've been following the Arena Clash season, you will hopefully recognize some of these players, some of the names. We've got them from all over the country now, and they are going to be coming up against, I believe, the RAF. So RAF, they put up a very, very convincing hold, a very, very convincing attack on that run. I'm really interested, really curious to see how they do against a team of professional and semi-professional players.
I mean, backstage, you were predicting that we were going to see all sorts of unusual things coming out of the All-Star players. Maybe not your standard meta picks, might get something a little bit more fun. Having seen how well the Air Force did there up against the Army, do you think that that's still going to be the case, or do they go, actually, no, this is a legitimate threat?
So I actually think they've got to treat them with a little more respect than I initially thought they would. So RAF were able to drag out the win there with Genji Torb as their DPS lineup, which is not a combination that has a huge amount of synergy. Yes, it gives you a lot of options because it gives you with the turret that sort of third angle of approach of attack, so you get a bit more space control. But I get the impression that the Torbjorn player was mostly just playing for the hammer kills. They just wanted that little, it's seen as a badge of victory in Overwatch if you can get the hammer kill. So I think that the Arena Clash All-Stars probably need to give the RAF a little more credit than we initially thought they would, because that was a genuinely very, very strong showing.
Well, in a moment, we're going to get a chance to have a little look at the replays, some of the highlights from that fast-paced game.
Yeah, it's not a huge amount of time for some of those highlights to actually get generated, but here we are online. We're going to see the replay, and this is going to be, this is what confused me at the start. The RAF and British Army tags initially swapped, but this was the RAF coming in and just deleting the British Army from the point, kill after kill after kill. Very, very convincing showing. Nashi was honestly a really stand-up player, and it was Nashi that was playing the Torbjorn on the defensive round as well. So clearly a very talented DPS player.
Certainly was, and as the game progressed, there were more and more kills for the Air Force.
Yeah. I mean, this attack run, it was almost like, I don't want to talk too badly about them because, you know, they're here to have fun for the most part. It was almost like the British Army did not turn up to this fight. They got seriously knocked from point to point to point here. Nashi was uncontested. I mean, look, we had Nashi there fighting Ginger Spunk up on the high ground. Ginger Spunk should not have been up there on the Orisa trying to take that brawl in the first place. So one of the things that, as a novice viewer, you maybe don't realise, and certainly has changed since beta, which I think was the last time you played Overwatch, is every time Reaper piles in some damage, he gets a small proportion of health back. So you can take fights that you maybe shouldn't be able to if you're confident you can land in enough damage. So you just watch his health there. Like, so much of that is coming back just from that lifesteal ability, and then it gives you the chance to throw in ults like that, because why not?
One of the things I really love about watching this is that obviously for a lot of the people here watching, the heroes that you generally talk about are the ones on screen that we're looking at right now. But, you know, we've got to reflect on the fact that actually on stage we've had 12 real-life heroes there who are going out and doing some slightly more scary things than me and you do with our thumbs.
Yeah. So I think it's let's not pile too much criticism onto the British Army. They have better things to do than
and fair play to them for being such great sports coming in and doing this.
Like they knew. They knew that they were here for fun, and hopefully they had a good experience on this anyway. It's certainly great being up on that stage. It's a really great atmosphere, especially when you've got such a good crowd.
Was there a real highlight in that game for you, a particular moment, or maybe an MVP?
My temptation is to give that to Nashi. I think actually a really strong performance on both the Torbjorn and on the Reaper. I mean, taking on a huge number of 1v1 fights that they maybe in a more level match should not have been taken on, but they were able to make that work. So I think so far Nashi looks like they might have been the standout. So we just had a message that we are going to be starting very shortly coming out. But just this replay from Gonzi, I thought really great press of mine, identifying that the Bastion was a real threat, getting in there, had the reflect, had the Dragon Blade ready to go, just able to completely pick apart the biggest threat of the British Army. And it's one of the things that's really good to see about the way that the 2-2-2 lock has changed the game. It means that we're starting to see some of these more dynamic plays coming in, like clutch plays from heroes that we haven't seen for a long time because of how prevalent that triple tank, triple support meta was for so long. So it's honestly been really great to see people like Gonzo able to come out and play the Mei and then the Genji in fairly short succession.
Looking more to the professional scene, you're talking there of how the meta has shifted and it's been forced to shift. Are you a fan of 2-2-2?
I actually think it's a little bit early to say. So, it has a different impact for ladder games, so you're just my casual playing with my friends, than it does at the higher competitive levels. I think at the high competitive levels, there was this strange balance between the GOATS meta, as it's called, because that's the team that sort of first brought that composition to prominence. It was about really minute changes in strategy and understanding and timings and combos. So it was a really sort of intricate, really delicate ballet of Overwatch to watch. In 2-2-2, it makes my ladder games a lot easier because I'm not going 1 support and 5 DPS, which is not a lot of fun. I'm sure I don't have to tell anybody here that. But I think it limits professional play because it means that you
don't get these off-meta strategies.
Well, it's more that you don't get...
Or new meta, whatever it might be.
It's much harder to find sort of new, interesting combinations. So we do see some of these combinations coming to the fore now that we've moved into 2-2-2. So the Mei Reaper is one that we see quite a lot. In fact, we saw that on the map just then. Orisa Roadhog, again, have a really, really good synergy. And so we are seeing some of these, but it means that the sort of the big brawly compositions that we used to see either in GOATS or in Slambulance just aren't there, and so we don't see that minute, delicate, beautiful sort of changes in positioning, changes in cooldown use that we saw. So I think I'm a fan overall, but I think it needs to be looked at carefully because I think it can have a chance of stifling some creativity.
As you go into ranked as sort of your average player,
I wouldn't recommend it as a rule.
Do you queue up as a certain role and say, actually, I want to do this, I'm better at this, or do you sometimes get filled into something else?
So we're currently in a beta for the ladder, so just testing out how things work. But yeah, you go in as support, DPS, or tank, and you have a separate rank for each one, which makes a lot of sense because I'm an okay tank, but I just can't aim for heck, frankly. So it's great that I can be ranked to my tank player, not my DPS play. Not that I ever got a chance to play DPS in ranked anyway.
Because everyone else was.
Because everyone else is. And yeah,
you're that guy who, if it's a 5-a-side football team, will stay back in defence because everyone else has just run up the other end of the pitch.
Exactly. I'm a nice guy is what I'm trying to say, guys. Pay attention.
But maybe you need to change the name. Big Hungry Phil, Big Hungry Nice Phil.
I think there is a limit on what I can fit on the back of an esports jersey, and I think Big Hungry Phil is right up against that upper limit. If I squeeze the nice in there,
it could be like Big Hungry Nice.
I could. Nice up, yeah. I don't know. I'll take it into consideration. If you've got any thoughts on the matter, do please email me or find me on Twitter, and we'll hash it out there.
I'll have to say I'm very grateful for you being so nice to me on this, especially considering the amount of times I've called you out across the Belong Arena Clash streams.
Now, you see, this was news to me because I hadn't realised you'd been calling me out. It's a League of Legends. I've watched a little bit of it, and I think it's
proper game.
Thanks. Yeah, cool. You completely derailed me there. Like, I've watched a bit of League. I watched the finals last year, as cursed as those finals were.
Please, let's never talk about those again.
And I watched it and I go, this is amazing. This is so energetic. It's so enthusiastic. It's so cool to watch. But I have not got a clue how League of Legends works. It might be some sort of arcane ritual as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I think what we need to do is...
what I was saying was I haven't watched any of the streams because I don't understand it, so I didn't realise you were calling me out.
Well, I'll come back onto that one in a moment because, frankly, it was hilarious because I usually am.
Yeah, fine. Honest, too.
But always.
Yeah.
But what we need to do is just send Sin back home.
Yeah.
We'll get you in for the Belong Arena Clash final, which is 4 o'clock today on this very stage. Minor plug. And, what we can do is, I'll return the favour. Me and you, cast that, sorted.
Yeah, it sounds good. I mean, for a show match, it's not so bad that we have somebody in who maybe doesn't know what they're doing.
I don't know what you're talking about. Literally, I don't know what you're talking about.
For the Arena Clash finals, maybe I think we'll leave that with Sin for now. And I'll go away and I'll do a little bit of homework. I'll figure out... There's 150 characters in
140 something.
So
I've actually just got up to 150.
So we're nearly at parity with Generation 1 Pokemon, is what you're saying. So what we're saying is League of Legends is basically Pokemon. That's what I'm taking away from this conversation.
Yeah, and unfortunately Riot have found out that I've got to catch them all, and that's why I own pretty much every skin in the game and have no money in my bank account. Moving swiftly on back over to Overwatch. Basically, there's just been the occasional little jibe thrown here and there. I'm quite glad that my producer hasn't thrown me quite so far under the bus as he did last year with the Tekken casters, because standing next to you on the stage, I think he would batter the living. Anyway, we're going on to the Royal Air Force versus Belong All-Stars. This is going to be the winners of our last game, going up against a team who, frankly, they should be very scared of.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Royal Air Force, they did put up a very good showing, but Belong All-Stars are another level above that. We talked about Brute being in the final 12 for the Overwatch World Cup, but all of these players have demonstrated that they are really, really top-flight players among some of the best talent in the Okay, and we've got Padjack starting out on the Widow here.
So talk to me about the map that we're looking at.
So this is King's Row, and it's actually really common to see this map in scrims because it's sort of
Iron Man.
It's well, I think you find that's Mondada, but we'll go into the lore of Overwatch in the after stream section. So we're going to be starting with Royal Air Force on the defense.
See, there's Iron Man's daughter next to him.
Congratulations.
She likes burgers.
Yes, well, anyway, moving on from this, you'll see both teams running Reinhardt and Zarya. And now, even before Goats was a thing, running Reinhardt Zarya on this map was always the optimal strategy because of the synergy between those two heroes and the ability they have to work together to generate ultimates and to cycle ultimates. So we're going to be seeing Belong All-Stars starting out on the offense. Padjack not quite able to find a opening kill. Royal Air Force playing around the corner. Beautiful wall coming out from Gonzio. Separates out both snipers from the rest of the team. They're still able to find an angle through that. We're still on board with Padjack, looking to get around and find an angle. Feazdog now on the Genji goes in. Deflect is down. Cannot deflect that Mei Icicle coming in. And Gonzio's going to get the first pick. G22 going down. Losing your main tank so early in the fight is a signal for the rest of the team to back out and try that again.
First blood going over to the Royal Air Force. Exactly what they need to settle the nerves in this big stage match against the Belong All-Stars.
Yeah. Well, she did lose a lot of shield charge in that. Luckily, it regenerates fairly quickly, but maybe a sign that they're doing too much hard shielding here, stopping a lot of the damage coming in, which is great, but you need to be a little bit more selective and use it specifically to get rid of stuff. But I like what I'm seeing from Welshie here playing the Ryan. Just popping the corner long enough to get the fire strike in. Oh, Padjack ward out by Gonzio once again. Actually, Royal Air Force doing really well here, but not well enough. Padjack able to take Sharkman down. That's a lot of support down, but we've got a couple of equalizers. Feazdog now playing the Hanzo rather than the Genji, is able to find Gonzio, but they don't have their main tank right now. Cheek 22 coming back from spawn. However, spawn advantage definitely for the attackers here. They are in a very good position to press the advantage once their remaining players are back.
Yeah, that was a 2 for 2 through that trade. All 12 players back on the map now, looking for the next set of kills. There it is.
Coalescence coming in, going to pile that all into the main tank, but Welshie not able to be kept alive. Feazdog manages to find the angle and take them out. Five Eyes still here trying to keep the dream alive. Padjack very nearly has the Inthrasites up and ready to go. Maybe not the biggest advantage, particularly when there's a Nash around the side with the McCree, and we're going to get that Graviton Surge in over the top. Brute coming in with a high charge on the Zarya to help clean things up. Duck right at the end there gets the parting blow onto Five Eyes. Still, pretty good defense from Royal Air Force, a fair amount of time burnt off the bank. Let's see how they do in the streets phase.
Quite a fair power play there for the Belong All-Stars as they found more of the kills, doing a pretty decent job so far of stopping the Royal Air Force in their advances.
Yeah, so G22 will have the Shatter here ready to go. So if they can get this in around Welshie's shield, this is another one team fight. Nice adaptation coming out from the Royal Air Force as they go and pile in the damage from the top row. Nashi finds one with the Deadeye. Feazdog down. Advantage going to Royal Air Force. They find a second with Cheat 22 going down to Gonzio with the Blizzard. Does a lot to open up the fight for their team. And they want blood. They're coming in, getting the Ice final few characters down if they can. They've opted to back out now. No wall, nothing left for them. But Belong All-Stars stuffed right back into spawn.
Tell you what, the Royal Air Force are showing they're not just here to make up the numbers, but the Belong All-Stars able to match them at every turn so far.
Yeah, I mean, look, we were talking backstage about this. Maybe this was going to be a slapping, but honestly, Royal Air Force are really impressing me here. Feazdog gets a beautiful angle in, finds two with the Dragon Strike as well. Really cracks this wide open. The hunt is on. They want the final few heroes. We've got a stall coming in, looking for Sharkman to try and keep this going a little longer. Sadly, not going to be enough. 5
kills in quick succession. The Belong All-Stars already looking pretty good across this map, looking to try and close things out.
Yeah, but they do have some tools to play with here. They've got a Graviton Surge. They've got that sound barrier to try and counteract damage coming in from Belong All-Stars. Worth noting, Padjack has moved over onto the Ashe now, slightly more well-suited for this point. You don't need the long sight lines that you would for Widow, and very nearly has the ultimate online already, has the Bob ready to go. In he comes, it hits the middle plinth. He's in there to rain in the damage.
He's dead.
Yeah, Gonzio does block out a lot of the team, but it's not going to be enough because Cheek and Feast are coming in. Get Welshie and Gonzo down. Padjack, one more with Bob. Nashi on his own. Cold, left out, going for the casual tactical reset down into the hole. Belong All-Stars pushing up, and they're going to be coming out of this with a nano boost and a Graviton Surge ready to go.
Royal Air Force giving up so many kills. They're giving so much more advantage over to the Belong All-Stars. They continue to push forward. This map is so close to being theirs.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, RAF don't really have anything. They don't have anything to play with, and they've lost a lot of their damage already. Nashi down, Sharkman down 2. The Graviton Surge outlocks them up. In comes the right click. In comes the Dragon Strike. Down Down go the RAF. Nashi looking to come back and keep this alive. Nobody there to do it. And we're going to see Brute playing right up against Spawn now.
In our last matchup, we saw ultimates being saved, almost used to be styled out. In this one, they're being used to great effect. The Belong All-Stars picking exactly the right moments, as you'd expect from players of this caliber.
RAF have an opening here. If they can get this May ultimate online and get enough people inside it, then that is going to be their window of opportunity. Nashi is able to find Dapper, but that's one kill in that exchange. Belong All-Stars have completely cracked this third point wide open. RAF not really in a position to contest this anymore. 3 minutes, 13 seconds. Quite the time bank for the Belong All-Stars.
And that is, to the best of my knowledge, a really very, very good time. And now it sets the bar so very, very high for the Royal Air Force to try and fly over.
Yeah, it is by a lot of measures a very good time bank. It was quite a robust point A defense for the RAF. It took Belong All-Stars quite a while to crack that. And, you can sort of see when the opening picks happened, Belong All-Stars realized that was their time to go, and they just piled in on top of that and capitalized on it. And then they didn't give the RAF even a second to catch their breath, to get back in, to try and regroup and come again. So we had a lot of very staggered team fights. We had a lot of team fights where there wasn't really a full complement of players for the RAF. And that's, it's unfortunate, but sometimes that is what happens. You aren't given the opportunity to play the game in the way that you want to play it.
But the way the Air Force started, it forced the Belong All-Stars to show respect and to actually have to play that out methodically to show just how skilled they are.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that we saw Padshak stick on the Widow looking for those picks for so long and not swapping to something slightly more unusual. Some of the more off-meta picks, we have seen him occasionally play a little bit of Doomfist. It's a hard character to make work. The fact that they weren't able to do that shows that actually Belong All-Stars are treating the RAF with the respect they seem to have earned in that first round.
So you had a little look at the players on stage as Belong Arena All-Stars were introduced to us. But judging by the 6 players that we've got here, do you feel like the Air Force have got an easier or a harder time based on the people being put up against them? Obviously, we've highlighted Brute multiple times. How about the rest of the squad?
Well, these are all players that we've seen a lot of over multiple seasons of Arena Clash, and that we've had an opportunity to really talk about quality for quite a long time. Cheek 22 has been a standout tank player for their team. Duck last year won, I think, the Community Award. So, players that have certainly made a name for themselves over the course of Arena Clash. Nashi coming in did get that disco. In fact, that was a big anti-nade coming in. The hack onto Nashi now. And this is going to be Belong All-Stars definitely carrying this first fight. Feastdog is going to be coming out of this with 61% of that ultimate. Does not quite secure that final kill onto 5 Eyes, but that was a very good showing from Belong All-Stars.
I'll tell you what, to the uninformed, everything looked exceptionally chaotic, energy balls everywhere, but at the end of the day, it is the Belong All-Stars who once again coming up good.
We are seeing some adaptations coming up from the Royal Air Force, and this again might be one of the more optimal lattice strategies. So we've got the Orisa and the Roadhog here ready. That's a really good combination. Those two abilities from those characters work really well together, the May and the Reaper as well. But Duck has got the Nano Boost already, and that's been powered in onto Cheek, which is going to give them a lot of opportunity now to try and generate that Primal Rage. We have lost 2, 3 already from the Belong All-Stars, so this is a real rout. RAF, with these changes, have really come in to make this work. 5 Eyes with the Coalescence gets Duck as well. Sharkman, 5 Eyes, down goes Brute. RAF cap that in a beautiful cap time.
I'll tell you what, that's just what the Air Force needed, getting themselves back into this tie. It felt like the All-Stars were doing a good job of flanking, but then the kills came in quick succession. Royal Air Force grabbing this game by the horns.
Yeah, however, because they won that fight so quickly, they're only really coming out of this with the Blizzard. Now, that is a very useful ultimate to have online because it freezes anybody in its range in place, and it's a thing that you can use to generate a lot of ultimates and slow a lot of aggression. However, Belong All-Stars do have the Primal Rage, and they do almost have the EMP. That EMP is going to be so crucial for how they mount this defense. It needs to go in just the right place. Luckily, Padshak has demonstrated themselves to be a formidable Sombra here. So watch out for this EMP anytime in the next few seconds. In comes the Translocator. Out comes the EMP. It's big. All 6. No internet access for any of you, I'm afraid. Feastdog coming in. So far, only 1 kill on the back of that. And the Blizzard gets eaten. Brute on the Diva, taking care of the Blizzard. Also, Feastdog jumping in and out, falling low, fighting back up to full health again. Cheek 22 with the Primal Rage has identified there is a Roadhog with the ultimate who needs to go out. The chase is on, and down they go. They are going to be coming into this next fight with a lot of ultimates to play with, but so far it is Belong All-Stars in control of the payload.
For so long in that fight, nobody died. All the shields being used to the Royal Air Force's best effect. However, again, Belong All-Stars coming up big. So far, far only the 1 point on the map for the side of the Air Force.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With the Supercharger online, that's an additional 50% damage for anybody in range of that effect. And with the whole hog online for Doided, there's actually a lot that Royal Air Force can do to keep this going. And we've got Gonzio moving over onto the May, or still on the May. In fact, Welshi is able to find Dapper as the opener. So that's a 5v6 already for the RAF. We've got 2 support ults out. That's the Sound Barrier and the Coalescence. Five Eyes gets rid of Cheek Dog with that, and with the Supercharger in on top of that. It looks like Belong All-Stars have done what they can to get out of the way of some of that damage and stay alive, which might be great here for the regroup to come back in. Doided is able to get Duck. Nashi now will have that Death Blossom ready to go. So this is honestly looking to be, for the Royal Air Force, potentially as good a time bank as we saw for Belong All-Stars, if not a little better.
Wow, let's see if the Air Force can do it. They managed there to chain their ultimates together brilliantly. However, those percent bars are very, very low for the latter 3 members of the Air Force. We do, however, see that May is getting closer and closer to having the freeze available.
Yeah, well, the Blizzard is now online. Nashi also has the Death Blossom ready to go. Expect that. Oh, not going to be able to use it with the EMP coming in. Hits 4. Sharkman and Nashi both down. Gonzio getting focused. Feast Dog finds the kill. Belong All-Stars once more, looking to regain control of the payload. Just got to get rid of that fat man with the hook, and he's down. Belong All-Stars continuing the defense.
And those ultimates will do you no good if you are dead.
No, it's a cardinal rule of Overwatch. You have to be alive to use your ultimates, typically.
It's generally a good rule of thumb, but unfortunately that's not what the Air Force were able to do. However, they have been able to keep those ultimates. They're available to them now going into the next fight.
Yeah, but interestingly, Belong All-Stars did use a lot of ultimates to get that done. They only have the Primal Rage from Cheek 22, and honestly, you can have a lot of value robbed out of that by the freeze from the May, so maybe not what they want to try and hold this. They've got to get a couple more team fights to get some of these key ultimates alive, get the self-destruct, get the EMP. That's how you start to win these team fights. Feast Dog's been caught out in the back line, able to get out of dodge. Nashi going to be coming in with the Death Blossom, and we've got the Coalescence there as well to keep them alive. Out comes the Death Blossom, but the hack stops a lot of it, but it has secured the D-Mech onto Brute. Brute now only in pilot form, but there's big equalize for you. Feast Dog coming in, one with the Pulse Bomb. Doided gets Dapper as well. Cheek 22, this is what I warned would happen, has the Primal Rage, gets frozen for a lot of that, and Doided is able to find a kill. In the meantime, Cheek 22 still alive, still swinging those big gorilla arms. Duck now coming in with the Coalescence, secures a kill onto Five Eyes. Padchak, no charge left on the EMP, using that to great effect to start off this team fight, and Cheek 22 keeps piling in the damage. Royal Air Force don't know they're done. They need to back out and think about this again.
That payload is being contested constantly. However, there's only just over a minute left on the clock for the Royal Air Force to get it done.
You know, I spoke last time we were in this position that Belong All-Stars, they only had one ult to make that work, but not only did they make that work, they got other ults to help them do that. They're going to be coming into this with the self-destruct. So if they can time this around the Royal Air Force's barrier and around the geometry of the map, this could be where this map really falls over. In the meantime, Padchak in the back with an opening hack. Oh, one out from Brute with the self-destruct, fighting
so
Gonzio. Royal Air Force now in a 5v6, and if they're not careful, this may get an awful lot worse for them. Belong All-Stars don't want to let them out of it. They want this fight to go on for as long as possible. Doided comes in with a wraparound, takes up the offensive position, not able to find anything with the hook, has the whole hog ready to go. Oh, hacked out of it. Beautiful presence of mind from Padchak, getting the hack onto the Roadhog Maze. Nothing coming out of that ultimate. The Sound Barrier now out from Sharkman, now down and out for the count. Nashi now coming in, playing on the McCree, and a freeze from Gonzio could be where this all flips right back around. Belong All-Stars forced to take up the offensive position here. Means that we can see the RAF get in and start to get some payload progress as we lose Cheek 22 to Sharkman. The EMP down 3 as well. They all fell very low, but so far no follow-up. Welshi still alive. Doided managed to get back up to full health. This is not looking great for the Belong All-Stars, although main tank down. Welshi falls to Brew. The Pulse Bomb is no good, doesn't connect with anything, but Feast Dog is keeping this alive for as long as possible. Comes in, finds a double with a melee kill onto Gonzio also. They're coming in there, Brute with the remake already. This looks like the RAF just not realizing that they're down and out just yet. Belong All-Stars still in control. Welshi finds Feast Dog. Not the most impactful kill necessarily, but it's going to help that stall come off. Welshi gets hacked, not able to get in to use the set up the stall spin, set up some of that displace. Belong All-Stars still in control of the payload. We need Doided to come back here with this ASAP to try and knock some of the Belong All-Stars off the map. It's a good try, but it ain't quick enough. Belong take the map.
And that was such a long contest over the payload there, deep into overtime at the end of the day. It's no real surprise the Belong All-Stars come out on top, but it is a surprise just how closely contested that was. Huge congratulations in a way to the Royal Air Force.
Yeah, and again, we were talking backstage to the RAF and to the Army as well, and they didn't think they were going to go anywhere. But the defense and the offense that we saw coming out from the RAF just then is really, to me, indicative of a team that knows what they're doing and knows what they should be doing, but maybe in a position where, because they haven't had the time to invest that our Belong All-Stars have had, they just don't have necessarily the mechanical skill and the polish and the finesse and the sheer volume of hours sunk into the game that you need to beat a team like the Belong All-Stars. But it's still an incredibly good showing out from the RAF.
Yeah, it really, really was. And one of the things, I mean, if that was me personally going up on stage against players of that caliber, I'd be proud to have even got a single point, having delivered the payload a little bit further up the map. So massive, massive credit. The teams there taking their bow. Thank you so much to the Air Force, who have now played their 2 games. And now it is time for the mighty, mighty monsters that are the Belong Arena Clash All-Stars to take on the slightly, slightly scared Army.
Look, I don't think they're scared. I think they're in the Army. I think
they're definitely scared. And I also think I'm not going anywhere near them backstage.
No, I wouldn't. I think the exits are sort of that way.
I'll be running.
So yeah, good. You are wearing quite a what's the word I want? An obvious set of clothes. So you might want to change.
Are you saying it's not as good as their camouflage?
Oh, I'm saying that I couldn't find them backstage because of the camouflage. You're incredibly obvious, flamboyant even. So we are going to be having, I think, a changeover in who we're being represented by for the Belong All-Stars. We have 2 teams coming up against the Army. So we are going to be seeing anybody who's watched Arena Clash knows that I have a bit of a soft spot for a player called Kotanks. We are going to be seeing Kotanks in the next map. We are going to be throwing to 5 minutes of replay whilst we get everybody back up onto stage and change peripherals and what have you. So let's have a look at some of these replays.
That's nice. That was good. It's good. Try to make it fun. Thank you, good people of Insomnia, for sticking around with me, Greyheart, and Big Hungry Phil, who is always speechless with me around.
Well, this is the thing. Like, I'm a play-by-play caster for the most part. So when I suddenly don't have possession of the throw to camera, it's like, oh.
My words now. We've actually lost him. But anyway, we've seen a couple of great games so far. We saw the Air Force managing to take down the Army, but then getting beaten by the All-Stars. All-Stars now going up against the Army. And I'm slightly worried going into this game that it's going to be one team with guns and one team with pointy little sticks.
Well, yeah. Let's be honest. The showing against the RAF was not ideal.
The strongest.
It was not the strongest. But, you know, we're not here, no one's winning prizes, no one's getting points. This isn't counting.
I'm definitely not.
No, I'm not either. Yeah. It's an exhibition match, guys. We're here to just have fun. Like, you know, this is an opportunity that not a lot of people get to play on this kind of stage. You know, even if you go along to your Arena Clash arenas and you play and you play and you play, there's no guarantee that you're going to get here. So, you know, to have the opportunity to have, because, you know, we've got players on the Belong All-Stars team that haven't made it through to the finals, have made it out in semi-finals or quarterfinals or even lower than that sometimes. We're giving them the opportunity to come and play in front of a big crowd. And we've got a chance for the Army to come and play in front of a big crowd, which, you know, I'm aware that we're talking about these guys having no fear and being used to doing far more dangerous things than this in their day-to-day life. It's an experience they don't normally get. So hopefully they're just here to enjoy themselves. I know I'm enjoying myself.
Yeah, I don't know if you've had the opportunity to play on stage much yourself. I got the opportunity in Insomnia a couple of years back myself to have a little exhibition match of my own. It turned out pretty nicely. That was, of course, of a game of League of Legends rather than Overwatch. You'll be surprised to hear.
Yeah.
But, you know, even for me now, that's a fond memory for myself, and hopefully the same can be said for these guys who are going up on stage and giving it their all.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's worth noting that we do have a change in the Belong All-Stars. Our first batch has now disappeared back off into the ether of BYOC and Insomnia in general. So this is a fresh team. We don't know precisely how these guys are going to perform. Maybe this is going to be a little bit of a better chance for the Army, because, again, these guys have not had a chance to play together. They don't necessarily have the comms and the synergy. They may have to rely just on raw mechanics, and maybe that's a bit of an equalizer. Again, a lot of players on the Belong All-Stars who do have that mechanical advantage, but let's not rule out the Army just yet. Maybe the first match against the RAF was a sort of sandbagging one, just to build the confidence up. And, build the confidence up just to undermine the confidence of the Belong All-Stars, and we're going to see them come roaring back in and just knock them off stage.
So, of course, we get to find out what our final map for today is going to be as we're rotating amongst different ones for these exhibition matches. Is there a particular match type that maybe you feel might play more into the hands of the Army?
Well, so I always think that it's a very hard game to judge the quality of a match overall when you start on a control map. And a control map, I don't think we're going to be seeing today. I think we're going to be seeing another hybrid map today. So maybe we'll be going over to Numbani shortly. We'll certainly be finding out in a couple of seconds. Hang on. Yeah, that looks like Hollywood to me. So were the other hybrid maps coming into? So I think the random nature of a control map might be better suited for the Army to have a better showing here. As it is, with the positioning that we've got, with the map that we've got, I think this is going to be another one that's going to be difficult for them to gain a lot of traction on.
And the timer is completed. We get our first opportunity to have a little look at which heroes have been selected by both teams.
Now, this is interesting. If we actually see this on defense from British Army, you'll notice over there in the 4th slot, in the 2nd tank slot, we do have Spam Person now playing the Sigma, who the newest character in Overwatch. I'm surprised we're seeing any of at all today. And
not one for someone who's not a big fan of toes.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of toe on display for old Sigma, but he's a very complex hero. It's very hard to get value out of the Sigma pick unless you have a really good understanding of exactly how all those mechanics work. Now, this is cheeky from the British Army. We're going for a hold at spawn. So good luck, I think. This is very, very ambitious, but taking the fight to the enemy, absolutely. Oh, hang on. We've got a bit of a party, everybody. We're having a dance-off.
I was about to say it's a bold move.
Oh, no, here it is. It's the hammer fight.
It's Jawbone action.
Kotanks won with the hammer kill, but great respect from both teams. Oh, Kotanks, come on. He has a family.
One thing that we saw last time was the Bastion coming in for Rusty. Slight change of character for him this time.
Yeah, coming in on the Orisa instead, but Hammerfall is able to get rid of Cronenberg too. Out comes the turret, and he's looking for the hammer kill. Once more, Kotank's looking for the hammer kill. Finds 2. Keep a count, everybody. Put a little tick in the right-hand corner every time you see one of those. I feel like he's going to be playing for that all game. Don't worry, Kotanks. Nobody saw that deploy there of the turret that just hit the shield and bonked right back at you.
Will not hear a bad word said about Kotanks. This is the man who is going up against the entire British Army all by himself.
With a hammer. Can he get number 4 on the hammer kills? Not quite able to get it. Cronenberg getting the better of that exchange. Belong All-Stars very close to capping this point. But I do like that we did see that initial Torb hammer 1v1 to start this match off. Poppin' Fresh comes in with the wraparound. Did have the potential there to stall that point out a little bit longer. Sadly, just not quick enough to get some of those stall abilities in. Seen the overload coming in, and the hammer kill once more. Ginger Spunk's taken out by the Swedish midget with his hammer.
Kotanks is absolutely on fire. Must be pretty near those big kill sprees.
Yeah, he's very nearly generated his ultimate, mostly on the back of hammer kills, and we did see Irubu coming in there with the shadow at the end just to really put an accent on that fight. Leaky. Calisthenics has no place on stage.
I have literally no idea what I just saw.
You saw somebody engaging in what is euphemistically called a tactical crouch. Kotanks. Kotanks, that's rude. We'll be having words after this.
Well, you can have words, but some of them will surely have to be, oh my word, you are playing like a monster in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to see Dark Dagger coming in very close to having that ultimate already. Yeah, in fact, there we go, ready to go. And a lot of charge to show with it. Worth noting on the patch we're playing at the minute, there is a lot of damage on offer for Azaria right now with the changes to how her beam works. Kotanks with a Molten Core, going to spaff that all over the point. The charge comes through as well. A quick 3 coming out for Belong All-Stars. There is just a lone May of Poppin' Fresh, and another hammer kill for Kotanks. Yeah, there we go. Okay, much better behavior that time. Thank you.
Nerfs may be incoming for Zaya, but I'm pretty sure right now the British Army were hoping the whole Belong All-Stars team would get nerfed to the ground because they are looking so incredibly dominant. We are already so close to them pushing the payload to its destination.
Yeah, so one thing worth noting is that we do have some ults online ready for the British Army to play with. In fact, here it comes. The Gravitic Flux out from Spampers. Was not there to see that come to fruition, unfortunately. And we're going to see Poppin' Fresh here now. Here in a position to get a kill. Great. This is where we need to see these snowballs start to come through. But there is a Reinhardt in the back line swinging away. Not going to be able to swing through that ice block. Poppin' Fresh will have the Blizzard ready to go. Idilbu has a shatter of their own as Kotanks gets yet another hammer kill. No reason yet to use that Earth Shadow.
Pushing further and further forward. Belong All-Stars are getting closer and closer to their goal.
Oh, another hammer kill. Josh taken down once more by the hammer.
He might have to rename himself MC Kotanks.
He may well have to. Big charge out from Irubu. Finds Ginger Spunk, who has still not managed to generate this ultimate yet. Dark Dagger in very real danger of getting frozen, of course, with the damage output up at 99 charge for the Zarya pick there. It's going to be very difficult for anybody to really push in on the back of that.
We are just about to approach the end of this map, aren't we?
We very much are. Poppin' Fresh needs to get in and get a huge amount of value. Oh, we are going to see the res come off. In fact, so far, nobody's actually pushing the payload at the minute. We finally got one on there. The Blizzard has come out from Poppin' Fresh, freezes Kotanks, but has to go into the Ice Swarm to avoid getting killed. Kotanks, I'm sure, disappointed they had to use the Rivet Gun. And the Graviton Surge is going to lock them mostly off point. Ginger Spunk so close to having his ultimate online. The sound barrier not quite there. Ginger Spunk falls, and that was another ultimate that could have turned this absolutely around. Sadly, nothing doing for the British Army.
25 player kill streak. Kotanks came in, he absolutely dominated that map.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've spent a lot of time. This is the thing that I get accused of a lot, of talking a lot about Kotanks, and I try
it's hard
to
not
stop.
to if he plays like that.
Yeah, it is, and we are seeing a lot of the Kotanks Torbjorn spectated by our producers, so it's kind of hard not to talk about him when he's on screen for so much of it. But, you know, the rest of his team doing an awful lot to support him. The fact that the Zarya had permanently such high charge, seemed to always have a bubble just when it was required, means that, you know, the May wasn't able to find the value because that freeze was reset by the fact that there was a Zarya bubble there to completely cleanse that effect. And so, yeah, a really good show of teamwork and of mechanics from the entirety of the Belong All-Stars. But British Army are going to get another crack at this. They get an attack round here.
Hollywood starting back up again. The map has been flip-flopped around. It's the British Army's turn to attack.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what they run here. Looks like Spampers might opt to run the Sigma here again. He's certainly a lot of fun if you know how to make him work. I have to admit, I'm not one of the people that knows how to make a Sigma work. Not exactly in my wheelhouse, but we are seeing popping fresh, potentially. They are still in spawn, but coming out on the Bastion here, it's an option that we have seen the British Army run before, sadly not particularly effectively on Blizzard World. Let's see if they can make it a better run through this time.
I'm disappointed it doesn't look like we're going to get the hammer off at the beginning of this game.
No, sadly. It would have been nice to have that rematch, but given how many hammer kills we did see coming out from Kotex...
yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, but here's the thing that first made me talk a lot about Kotex, is the Kotex Doomfist. I saw him basically 1v6 an entire team as Doomfist. So we're going to be on board with Kotex to see what he can get done with it on this time.
He seems to like crouching.
Yeah, it's all about keeping your calves nice and warm. Because you do a lot of jumping.
It's leg day.
Yeah, it is. It is. Oh, he is here somewhere, yeah. So Kotex will be able to engage from the high ground here just a little bit, but so far, no real need to. We're going to see Leaky playing the Genji this time, so a lot of mobility on this comp coming out from Belong All-Stars, although we do also have a big old solid Reinhardt, and Leaky with the Shuriken finds Ginger Spunk, and not quite able to find the kill there. Finds the follow-up with the hand cannon. So that's going to be Rusty down. Another initiation coming in from Kotex. Not quite able to find the Sigma, but does get the Mercy. Almost casually was like, oh, look, there's a Mercy. Right click.
Kills already being picked up freely by the Belong All-Stars. British Army looking to bite back as much as they possibly can. They did manage to get themselves a kill or two in the last game.
Yeah, they did, and you know, they're in another position where if they're clever about this and they generate ults and they get the ults in the right place, they can get this done. But Hammerfall, off in the back of an angle nobody expected, able to find a kill there onto Ginger Spunk, using that Ana. Not normally a position we expect to see an Ana play in, so exposed, but at the minute, British Army don't really have anybody that can go and challenge her up there.
2 minutes 50 left on the clock already. Things starting to look a little desperate for them as they try to push the payload forward.
Yeah, so far they've, oh, well,
they've not even secured the payload.
That's the first kill though, that's a big opening. They're now in a 5v6 and it's a lot of your damage down and out already. Leaky's able to get the equalizer. Cronenberg is going to find the Baptiste Immortality field while that's going on, but Leaky is about to come up on that Dragon Strike.
Popping Fresh opting for the Bastion again in this game. Were you happy with that or not?
I think it's very difficult to make it work, and as we see Leaky start to pick apart the rest of the British Army, we see a 1v1, and once more the Bastion. In fact, Leaky so confident they can sit back and just pile in the reflect, wait for the kill. Gonna be coming out of that with not a great show in there, but you know, again, a player of Leaky's caliber, it's going to be very difficult to make anything particularly good happen there.
Meanwhile, we see the British Army, they continuously keep on trying. They're trying to make something work. It's so difficult for them, but you've got to respect the courage, the guts they're going in with.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is going to be Leaky trapped in the trap. That's going to be a big two-person advantage for the British Army. They need to push in and get this done now. They've got the Riptide. They can make this a one-team fight if they act in just the right way now. The Sigma barrier comes out, allowing them to progress forward a little bit, but there is a Kotex there. Comes in with the right click, with the uppercut, gets rid of the Mercy. Support down, looks for a kill or a reposition now. Coming in once more, gets the high ground repositioning. Coming in, piling in the damage with the right click, with the uppercut, not able to find a kill. Does find enough time to do a little bit of an emote at the end there, but Ginger Spunk holding on to this ultimate. Can still use it here, and now, with Rusty's ultimate as well, this is a potential for a huge amount of damage, but we need to see them get in and do something with it.
1 minute left on the clock, and with 6 ultimates available, the British Army can press forward. They've got to chain this together brilliantly.
Yeah, well, there's going to be the Gravitic Flux. Immortality field down, and we start to see the kills coming in for the British Army. Ginger Spunk with the Riptire finds Inner Blue, popping fresh, ready to aggress onto the point, and that is going to be it. Looks like the British Army are ready to capture point A. It is just going to be Kotex on the Junkrat, not able yet to aggress into point. Ginger Spunk caught out by the trap, does find Kotex. Spampers takes them out, and that is going to be the cap for the British Army.
With 30 seconds on the clock, they reset.
Yeah, they get 3 minutes now to do this again, but they are already severely down in the time back. Even if they get the complete on this, it is going to be an uphill fight to take this to round 2. And Leaky's up here on the high ground with the Dragon Blade ready to go. Idobu hiding around the corner, ready to put the shatter in. Expected big combo coming up shortly.
Yeah, Cronenberg on the Lucio, the only one with the ultimate available for the British Army, whereas the Long All-Stars already offensively.
The shatter finds nothing, too much shielding available, caught out. Leaky coming in, has the Dragon Blade ready to go. It finds one in Cronenberg, the second, Joseph going down. 3, popping fresh as well. Dark coming back in to round things
Run,
out.
Ginger Spunk, run!
Yeah, that's not a great position to be in. Cronenberg is still alive. Ginger Spunk taken out. Yeah, I mean, they're going to be coming out of this with a sound barrier ready to go, so they can use that aggressively if they choose. They can use it to try and mitigate some of the damage coming in from Belong All-Stars, but they have a lot of burst damage potential from Belong All-Stars, which makes it kind of hard to make that ultimate work particularly well.
Yeah, definitely is tough for the British Army. They are bravely fighting on, however, at least they managed to get themselves their hands on the payload as they continue to try and push it forward. They're making gains.
Yeah, Kotank's aggressing, coming into the back line. Poppin' Fresh makes the trade with Inuabu. Cronenberg, second time in a row, gets the better of Kotank's. This is clearly a man that spent a lot of time now playing the Junkrat, really starting to make it work for them. They've bought a bit of space. They can afford to take possession on the payload. And this is where they can really set up the pirate ship. Get that Bastion on the payload, set the shields up in front, make it really hard to dislodge, and that's exactly what they've gone for here.
And already, just like the Air Force in our previous matchup, we see them getting a point on the board. They've already accomplished so very much against a team of really high-level Overwatch players. Can they get more?
Yeah, well, we've got 2 Riptires on the field. Ginger Spunk's taken down by Dark Dagger, and it looks like nothing came out of the anti. Oh, no, Kotank still has theirs. My apologies. Thought I saw 2 of those Riptires rolling on through. Out comes the Amplification Matrix from Dwemer, piling in that damage on the back of that. And now here we see the Riptire. It's a biggie. It finds 4. The dash reset. The mines to round things out. The team kill.
Incredible scenes. Belong All-Stars absolutely reinforcing their dominance.
Yeah, and again, they're coming out of this with ults to play with. They're going to have another Shatter. They're going to have a Nano Blade ready to go. And they're going to have the Minefield, which is going to make it very hard for British Army to aggress back in unless they can get an early pick onto that Wrecking Ball.
All right, only 28 seconds left.
Oh no! Poppin' Fresh, she didn't have a chance to actually set up the turret form, so Inubu was able to get the better of them there. The charge doesn't find anything, hits the 45.
Go home.
But the Minefield finds 2. Ginger Spunk is able to get Inubu, but it's not looking good. 14 seconds left to go on the clock. Rusty only just going down, means they're not going to be able to get in and get this done. Poppin' Fresh does have the configuration tank form. Might need to pop a hit because they've got to touch if they want to keep this going. Out comes the configuration tank, immediately knocked back down again. British Army, the time ticks down, and that is going to be Belong All-Stars taking the win.
Yeah, the Belong Arena Clash All-Stars showing the dominance that in some ways we expected of them. However, full credit to both the Air Force and to the Army, who came out and put in a really, really cracking display in these show matches.
Yeah, they've been really, really good sports coming in and taking part of this, and I hope it's an experience that they've actually enjoyed rather than it being frustrating. I know that when it happens on ladder and you get stumped like that, it can be a little bit frustrating. On stage like this, I'd like to think it's a bit of fun, if nothing else.
It certainly was fun. Great fun working with you. Thank you so much for holding my hand proverbially there through all of those things.
I can hold it actually if you'd like.
There we go.
Yeah, but that is unfortunately the last of the shows, the last of the matches we have for this exhibition showcase for today. But of course, we have plenty more esports coming out through the rest of the day. We've of course got the League of Legends finals coming up. We've got Overwatch finals coming up tomorrow as well. So don't go too far at all because we've got lots more esports coming your way.
And from me, Stanley Greyheart Barker, and from this Big Hungry Phil Moxley, we're going to put you on to some highlights. Goodbye.
All right, here we are on the stage, and I have our two teams that have just been going head-to-head here. So Tyler, on my right here, commiserations on the defeat there. But you got a point. You got to be happy with that performance. You guys managed to pull it together in the end.
Well, you know, we saw the standard of gameplay and we knew we didn't have a chance. So we're happy to get a point. We're happy that, you know, to be invited onto the stage and, you know, to experience it.
How has the day been for you guys, playing on the stage in front of an audience, hearing the cheers when you're making a play? How's that been?
Absolute surreal. I mean, you know, crowds and competing, it's a different environment to what we're used to in the military, so it's been good.
And you guys actually have a stand here at Insomnia as well. Do you want to tell people a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we have stand 20 in the exhibition hall. You can come and visit us and do our climbing wall, play CSGO against serving soldiers, sit in our armoured vehicles, play with our remote weapon systems, put our armour on, hold our weapon systems. It's good. We're getting a good footfall and it's really good engagement. It's really pleasant.
Sounds amazing. I'll be over in about 10 minutes, something like that, right after this. Thank you very much for joining us, and congratulations on having such a sick series there. And then, and a round of applause, everybody, for our Army squad here. Fantastic performance. Then over on my left here, we have our Belong champions stepping on forward. Have you guys had some fun playing on the stage? It looked like you guys were pulling out some tricks there, styling a little bit in these games.
I don't know about tricks, but yeah, we definitely had some fun. I mean, this is sort of the big event, right? Coming on stage, getting to play in front of people, you know, doing what we do, you know, and what we love, and, you know, getting some enjoyment out of the fans for it. So yeah, it was really good.
How did you guys do? Obviously, you've all come from different teams, coming together as a unit. How was that different to your usual team environment?
Yeah, very different. I mean, I got a couple of teammates, so I know what kind of antics they pull. But yeah, I mean, thanks, whoever you are. So yeah, I mean, you know, look, we're all good players. You know, we all know each other in the community. There's a lot of guys in the community that make sure, you know, we all get chatting to each other, speaking to each other. So it's relatively easy to fit in. But yeah, maybe a few creases to be ironed out if we were to go any further.
Yeah, well, luckily it was just a show match for today, so you don't have to worry about it too much. So what are your plans for the rest of the event now? Because I know there's plenty more Overwatch coming up.
Yep. Yeah, just play some video games, I think, you know, have fun. I think this is the great thing about, you know, events like this is, you know, we play video games, we get to speak to people all around the world, country, wherever. You know, it's very rare that you then go and get to meet these people from Scotland, Wales, you know, wherever. So, yeah, just the social aspect of it, a few drinks at Spoons if you want to join us later, guys. And yeah, just play some videos, have some fun.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and a massive round of applause for our Arena Clash squad as well, who've come up and played those games. So thank you, everyone, for joining us. That is going to be the end of our Overwatch show matches here, but do not go anywhere. We're going to be back later on with our Arena Clash League of Legends finals. Make sure you're there. We'll be back in a few minutes' time.
Your latest win deserves to be seen by everyone. Instantly. Like, seriously, that was cool. But how does it work that your friends, playing with you around the world, see everything at exactly the same time as you? Well, that's your win there, flying off to ping around the world now. Magnificent, isn't it? It has to journey down miles and miles of fibre and get sorted at cabinet exchanges along the way. At the same time as your data, there's millions of other games, movies and more all going through the same cables. Then we get to the data centre, where the whole internet lives and breathes. In here, your game is being played out on the server in racks like this one. Now let's share your success all around the world. There we go. Your win is a global phenomenon now. And that's how it all works. Data centers in real life.